Hello everybody, hope you all are doing well. I'm Kajuju and this is going to be a performance update for Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Over the release weekend of Wonderlands, there was an issue with Shift constantly crashing in the background and supposedly drastically affecting performance. On my desktop PC, I did remember experiencing that issue and had some stutters on my PC, but I didn't think it would affect the performance that much for the Steam Deck. Some time has passed and according to the Shift status Twitter, they seem to have mostly addressed the problem, but some players are still experiencing issues. I decided to play through the tutorial of Wonderlands again just to see how much of the performance has improved. I am playing Wonderlands through the Hero Games launcher and the game is installed on my SD card, so it should be the exact same setup for when I last played it for the deck check. Before we start, here are the settings I am playing for this test. This time I am playing with low settings with a medium setting on character details. With low settings I get around 40 to 45 FPS when looking at the large areas in front of me, while I'm in small areas I get around 50 to 60 FPS. It isn't too different from what I had during my original playtest for my deck check video, but the most noticeable difference was the lack of stutter. In my deck check video you can notice a lot of micro stutters and huge stutters whenever I was fighting or whenever the map was loading. It was all that accompanied by shifts crashing and reconnecting in the background as well. Some time has passed since the original playtest and it seems that Shift is able to keep a stable connection for me now, and suddenly my overall experience has greatly improved. So it seems like Shift was the main cause of the stutters in my original playtest. During this playtest I played the tutorial 3 times to see if it was just a fluke that the performance has improved. So during those 3 playtests of the tutorial I still do get some stutters, but they are not as often as they were or as long as they were in my original playtest. The game ran smoothly most of the time, which was a great thing to experience. Wonderlands was the worst game that I've tried on the Steam Deck, but the performance has greatly improved to where it was actually enjoyable to play on the Steam Deck. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands actually feels pretty good on the Steam Deck now. If I wanted to improve the frames even more, I could probably just go down to very low settings, but the game still feels playable on low settings for me. 40 FPS on the Steam Deck looks fine, and when you enter smaller areas, you will get around 50 to 60 FPS. So like I said before, there is a bit of stuttering, but they weren't as long or as often as they originally were. It feels like Wonderlands is in a much more playable state for the Steam Deck now. But even with the improved performance, it still doesn't excuse the game for requiring me to be in desktop mode and always have to allow permission whenever I launch the game. One big downside for the Hero Games launcher is that I couldn't get the cloud saves to work to share my progress between the desktop PC and the Steam Deck. I personally did not want to start completely fresh since I had unlocked a bunch of extra cosmetics and options for character creation already. The only way for me to get access to the Epic cloud save was to download the Epic Games launcher onto my Steam Deck. Installing Epic is a bit more of a manual process, but there are lots of videos already on how to do so on the Steam Deck, so I will leave one in the description down below. You still have to play on desktop mode even if you launch from the Epic Games launcher, because you still have to allow permission in the window that pops up whenever you launch the game. You actually do get your specific controller config for the Epic Games launcher, so Wonderlands would be using whatever controller config is set up for the Epic Games launcher. So that is good to know if you don't want to mess with your desktop configuration. I just find alt-tabbing to be more difficult to do while playing through the Epic Games launcher. So when it comes to whether I would personally play this game on my desktop PC or on the Steam Deck, I would still prefer to play on my desktop PC, but it is actually in a state where I could play this game while in bed or on the couch and still have an enjoyable experience on the Steam Deck. So that is just a nice added convenience. I would still suggest just waiting for the Steam release to be able to play in gaming mode and to avoid most of the workaround. But that is it for this performance update on Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I didn't expect Shift to affect performance in such a huge way, but I am glad to see it running a lot better. So remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and until then, I will see you all later. Goodbye.
Powerful skeleton arises! A badass! A single villager remains alive in the carnage, which is fantasy. It's over there, baby!
I sense the Dragon Lord's presence! His tomb is somewhere beneath these ruins! Find him, fellow skeletons!
Wait. I thought we already beat the Dragon Lord.
What? That was forever ago! He's a necromancer! It's hard to legit kill him to death. After you guys went bony, Queen Butt Stallion locked his butt away in a dusty tomb for a few hundred years.
Oof, he's gonna be a cranky boy. nobly and well to the end.
I'm going to eat your pretty bones, my brittle bones!
Castle Harrowfast is a crumbly ruin. No one is left to walk these halls. No one lives.
So, skeletons.
Oh, yes, girl. You're picking up what I'm putting up. When you got more than one gun, you can switch between them. Keeps combat spicy, like jambalaya.
So, Tina, maybe after this quest, I could be the bunker master. I've been working on a campaign. It's got orcs and...
Tina don't play no more, okay? But it's all good. I got megatons of questicles simmering up in my brain sauce, baby.
Have you ever seen such a skilled hero?
Harrowfast's throne hall lies barren, hella decrepit. The last of the Harrow bloodline sits in her ancient throne, her bones clutched in a dusty spellbook as though awaiting a destiny that never came.
Well, this place is super grim. I love it! Grab that spell book! Now, how do we get into the tomb crypt? There's gotta be an entrance around here somewhere.
It's hidden.
My spell is ready!
Smash time!
The bone-dry air of the crypt whips past you as you hurtle down into the depths beneath the castle. It smells of old stone and older secrets. You hear a rumble and a booming laugh that seems to come from all around
Ooh, the forces of evil mock us. I am not afraid to kill you.
I found it! A tomb inside of a crypt! The perfect hiding place! I am coming, my dark master!
He's gonna resurrect the Dragon Lord. That's the exact opposite of what we want. We gotta get in there.
The waystone glows. You feel its magic within your chest, within your mind, within your soul. It asks a question. Who are you?
I am a fate maker.
You have answered smartly, baby! The carven door to the Dragon Lord's tomb crumbles!
The resurrection ritual has begun!
Boss fight! I got a special figurine for this guy. 1 second. Rising before you is one of the Dragon Lord's most loyal undead soldiers. It's Rivula! Roll for initiative!
Tremble before Rivula!
I'm not trembling. I'm trembling!
Kick his ass, newbie!
Remember this. You could have run. Back in business.
Dragon Lord, I challenge thee!
That's good. Yeah, not happening. Come on, the Fate Maker never beats the villain in the first quest. Still, you're stronger than the ones she sent before. I wonder. We'll meet again, Fate Maker. But for now, I have to go pay an old shiny friend a visit. See you around the neighborhood.
Damn it, he got away. We gotta track him down. I want that big bad boss kind of loot.
The Fate Maker's journey begins as so many do, with a heart full of fire and dreams of dragons and magic. It will end only one way, with the ultimate defeat of all evil.
Despite your heroic efforts, the Dragon Lord has escaped!
Wait a minute. Did you hear what he said? Shiny? Friend? Neighborhood? I know where he's headed. He's after Queen Butt Stallion!
To warn Queen Butt Stallion of the Dragon Lord's escape, you must travel far across the Wonderlands to the capital city of Bright Hoof.